Hi, favored ones. Welcome to Soul Talk. Our guest for today is Ray Almonares. So he's my co-faculty sa Lasal. But right now, he's in Thailand, one of my favorite places in the world. O, di ba? Ang ganda nun. And he's completing his PhD. He's now writing dissertation niya. So, of course, this is also my journey. Of course, I want to know more about journeys of different people in the doctoral studies. So, of course, here in our community, alam ko naman na hindi rin kayo PhD or DBA, but it's really it's all interrelated. Whatever lessons or whatever insights he has, it can actually be connected life in general. So let's all welcome Ray. Hi Ray, how are you?
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for having me here. Yeah,
Oo
I'm
nga.
doing good. How
Oo
about you?
nga eh. Ang ganda-ganda ng aura niya ngayon. So, okay yan. Ano ang pinagkakabisihan mo late? Ra- I know you write the entire day and it's
Yeah.
like every day. Pero, okay. Maybe what you'd want to share about that. Kasi that's also taking up so much of your energy.
Yeah. So actually, I just got back 3 weeks ago. So I went home from the Philippines. So after 2.5 years, I finally got to go home, and it was like a mental reset for me. I guess the effect of pressure and isolation. So pressure from PhD, isolation from COVID and PhD. Parang it was really taking a toll on my emotional condition, even mental condition. So yeah, so I just got back 3 weeks ago, and then when I came back, parang I don't know, balik na ulit on writing my manuscript, my dissertation. I'm currently finishing the first paper from my dissertation. So I think my supervisor wants us to produce around 2 papers for my dissertation. So I finished the draft for the first one. And she just gave me the comments yesterday. So yeah, it's a continual process of writing and revising. And hopefully,
Oo.
yeah, and I'm also preparing for the proposal defense. Hopefully, I can do it by this semester. I'm working on doing it this semester as well. So, yun, that's what consumes my time
Oo nga.
every day.
Pero, what in the first place, really draw what draws you this kind of work? Kasi sometimes when we hear it, it seems to be so routinal. It's so
Yeah.
ganun na lang every day, 'di ba?
Uh,
What meaning can you get out of this work?
ah. All right. I guess siguro the first part. I guess the first part of my answer would be on what motivates me, right? Or what's keeping me stay in this kind of routine.
Oo.
But so basically, just to provide background, so parang I would be, I would write like it's kind of like having a full time work where you read, code and analyze data and write. Um, to be honest, like parang there were times during stressful times, parang it would make you question on, why am I doing this, ganon. Pero I guess I always go back to, kasi when you reach that point when you question it, it's because you have the benefit of hindsight already. So you already saw na when you took this path, this is what ito na yung nangyari. But parang I guess I always remind myself, to the time 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago, when I made the decision that I'm gonna do this PhD here in Thailand. Na back then, like, I wanted to do a career in academia, ganun. I want to, and the main reason why I'm doing a PhD is I want to be trained as an economist, as a financial economist, and be able to produce research that's publishable. And I guess in a way, I would assess whether, is that goal still aligned with what I want to do, even after I've taken that path. And to be honest, like during the challenging times, parang yes, I questioned the decision, ganun. Pero parang it never crossed my mind to quit from the program. Even if merong uh conditions yung scholarship ko. Because basically I have to pay back everything if if I don't finish a program. But even no, parang even that part is not parang even that factor is not part of the equation.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I like what I'm doing. I guess that's it. All boils down to that. Parang parang for me, of all the things I've done, parang which one do you like the most? Right? Which one do I like the most? And for me, I really like analyzing and thinking deeply on these problems. It's challenging lang, I guess, because there's a standard in academic research na because after you finish what you've done, you would now submit it to journals for peer review. So of course your peers will scrutinize what you have done, ganon, and then you will have to rework based on their comments. But I guess it's part of the training process. Because parang the difference between PhD and other degrees like a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, is that it's really like a training, kind of like a work. Parang I treat that. Parang I think that's one thing. Because it's even if technically we are students, it's really a training program for us to produce research. So yeah, and it's aligned with what I want to become, and that's to become an economist. So in order for me to become an economist, I would really have to go through this process. So I think that's the main factor or the main motivation as to why I'm still persevering to
Sabi mo nga 4 years na eh.
yeah.
Pero, gosh, how do you take care of yourself?
That's a good question. Um, find a balance between taking the work seriously and not taking yourself too seriously as well. It's easier said than done, but the first part about taking the work seriously is a good reminder that parang it motivates you or even forces you to, these are the steps that I need to do to finish this, and I just need to take them. At the same time, there's also a reminder to not take yourself too seriously, especially with what you're doing. Because basically, parang it's our name that's attached to our work, and it's very difficult not to take things personally because we will take things personally if our work. Because the thing with research is that your work gets critiqued, even if you've published already. Succeeding literature would be criticizing your work, kung ano yung loopholes niya, and that's where they build on anyway in extending the discussion on that topic. So even before the publication and even after publication, parang our work will get criticized. It will be subject to critique. So learn, like yes, and the thing is like we devote our time and effort to it. It's our name that's attached to it. We are the ones who would get cited. But at the same time, I think for me it will be helpful not to take things too seriously. In the sense that find the balance on what are the things that will ano yung mga papansinin mo, when to let go, what are the things to listen to. So be able to discern and tune out the noise. It's so easy to be distracted by the noise. Pero once the goal is clear to you, parang somehow it will be part of the discerning process na this is just noise. Or maybe I disagree with what this person is saying, but this person may have a point. So parang mga ganong bagay. Learn how to find the good in even in negative comments. Of course, easier said than done. But I guess for the sake of inner peace, to be honest, because I think like with COVID and everything, parang it really reminded me na before this, like I was aiming before COVID, parang I had this goal of getting these awards as a scientist, etc. But like after COVID, I was like, like just take things one step at a time na lang, and then let do our best. If we get something, then thank you. But but if you take away the awards, the recognitions, what you want to do, then parang just focus on that na lang, and do the best that you can. So, yun.
Parang malaking shift yan in terms of changing your mindset. And I'm sure there's an accompanying transformation that really happened to you in the 4 years that you're there. Ano sa tingin mo yung parang biggest transformation that happened to you? Kasi it's always a journey,
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I think the biggest in terms of biggest transformation, uh um I'm learning to be less critical of others.
So
um
naging kinder ka na.
yeah, that's true. Kasi I think and it's really COVID that brought this shift, to be honest. Kasi I think with COVID, parang everyone was dealing with things on their own, right? So parang during that time, everyone was just trying to survive, ganon, trying to get things done. Kasi for example, nung March 2020, nung start of COVID, like when we were still having lockdowns, ganon. So yung comprehensive exam ko was in May 2020. Tapos yung lockdown, it started in March. So during that time, the first 2 weeks, I was really paralyzed. Like I was parang, I know I should be studying, pero during that time, it felt like the world was ending. So parang alam mo yun, parang it had that impact on people. And that's just on my part. Parang I wasn't even struggling financially during that time. Parang all I had to deal with was just like prepare for this exam. But for other people, like they also have to deal with livelihoods. For my colleagues like you at Lasan, you have to deal with teaching, adjusting, etc. So people were doing their best to just get through the day. So parang for me, it was an eye-opener kasi parang for me, ako nga hirap na hirap ako during that time eh. Parang what more for those who actually have a lot to deal with. So parang before the things that would annoy me or would irk me about other people, parang yes, they still annoy me, pero I wouldn't be as critical as I was, to be honest. And I don't want to be that critical anymore. Kasi I think it really changed the way people live. So for example, whenever people would tell me na,
Parang nagkaroon ka na ng empathy in some
yeah,
ways.
I guess so. So that's true. Kasi before, I really wanted to be like ahead. Like I want to be number one, ganon. And if you can't keep up, then parang galingan mo pa. Parang ganon. Pero after COVID, and I guess with my experience and with my dissertation actually, kasi I was working on, I think the whole process so far, siguro nasa almost 2 years na ako nagbabasa ng literature, nagpa-process ng data. And yet wala pa akong paper na nasasulat from it. Pero like may mga mistakes, I encountered some mistakes along the way eh. So it was a humbling experience for me na uh, parang, alam mo yun, parang you may think you're all that, but actually you're not. And parang yun, I think it's a combination of those two things na parang humbling experience for me yung naging process, yung journey ko for the past 2 years. And at the same time, with the impact of COVID, it really changed people's lives, I think. And parang it really humbled me. And yeah, parang it strengthened my empathy for other people. I swear, like, I think, I'm so critical of other people before coming.
Pero that's a good change and learning.
Yeah.
Kasi parang you have learned, yes, of course, the emotion is still there, di ba? Nandiyan pa rin yung annoyance, pero
Mm,
can control.
yeah. Or
Oo.
just let it pass. Parang
Oo,
ganun.
oo. Parang
Don't dwell on it.
you choose na kung ano yung papansinin mo talaga at hindi. Parang
Yeah.
nagkaroon ka ng certain discernment. I
Yeah.
guess the pandemic really brought so much change in a lot of people, and it's growth really for all of us. Kahit
That's
na
true.
a lot of people are saying it's a negative thing, pero dami pa rin, dam-
Yeah.
there's a lot of positive things then that came out of it.
True. Yeah.
Pero like sa'yo, um, kasi very persevering ka eh. Ano yung mga um, what tips could you give so that, you know, a person could continue to persevere?
Ah, okay. Siguro not, yeah, okay. So I guess for me, what worked was taking a break. Really, I mean, yes, parang perseverance requires, latching on to the task until you finish it. But at the same time, you also need to take a break. Otherwise you'll burn out. So for me, and I think there's also a difference. Like to be honest, late last year, parang that was I think that was the time that I was so demotivated from studying. Kasi we had the lockdown for Delta. That was the longest lockdown that we had here. Tapos parang uh I was working on my project every day pero wala akong progress. So during that time, that's when I started playing field hockey. Like it's not even a popular sport, but apparently there are field hockey clubs here in Bangkok. Just so I can socialize. Kasi if I don't go to hockey training, ako lang talaga mag-isa every day. So imagine I spend the whole day without talking to anyone. We have
Grabe.
a family call every 7:30 p.m. every day. We have that. So that's the only time I would talk. Pero wala akong makausap about my project. So imagine the feeling na you're focusing on a task, but
Wala
wala
ka
kang
man
makausap about
share
it. Yeah.
to
So
help you at least man lang sift through what you have worked on.
wala. So that's why it was so frustrating for me that time. Kasi there were times when I thought like I made a breakthrough na in my analysis. I would write the paper and then like pagka-send ko sa supervisor, biglang sabihin niya na, ano to? And then there's nothing here. So I think that's why it was so parang at a certain point kasi, even if you persevere, it felt like it felt like I was running into a wall. So no matter how hard or no matter how fast you run towards something, but if you keep approaching the wall, that wall,
No
eventually
progress
it
dun,
will
no?
just tire you down.
Oo, inuumpok ka lang.
Yeah. So taking a break would allow you to parang at least, take off parang some rest. And in a way, it can help yun. One, it can help you, not think of these things at least for a couple of hours. Ganon. And yeah, at least and you can also do other things. Kasi
Oo.
parang it's so easy to attach. To be honest, like I don't know if I'm still guilty of this, but it's so easy to attach my value to the work that I do. So parang and if the work that I'm doing is not giving me the results, parang it would make me question my value as well. So parang doing things outside of research would somehow at least remind me na, there's more to life than just doing this speech. Like even if this is what I'm doing full time, it's a reminder na the world doesn't revolve around this and there's more to life than,
Kailangan mo
doing.
rin mag-rest and enjoy other.
Yeah, that's true. Even nung umuwi ako recently, so it was a 2-week vacation. Pero before that, nag-iisip talaga ako if I should go or not kasi I was starting to build momentum na rin. So parang I felt like if I go home for 2 weeks, baka masira yung momentum, gano'n.
Oo.
Pero it was the best decision I made because when I came back, tuloy-tuloy na talaga. So parang parang those 2 weeks off, but I still did some work. Pero at least in a different environment, being with the people, I love. Parang it really made it easier for me to deal with. So right now, parang it's so much easier for me to focus because I took that break na to see other people. So I think the that's one thing. And the other one would be like reach out to friends whenever you need to because it can be emotionally taxing ganon so like the pressure and isolation and yeah if you can even see a professional to help you sort things out because they can provide different insights then yun I guess normalize seeing professionals then because they will really help.
Actually, one of the reasons nga kaya ako nakikipag-usap sa mga PhD people or DBA people is to simply talk and connect
Yeah, that's true.
about the experience. Syempre, di ba, as I talk to like you and the rest, I also make a little bit of improvements on how I do things. But that's also, I consider it a gift. Kasi those insights minsan hindi ko naman makukuha on my own, 'di ba? Parang kahit naman yung mga messages ni God dinadaan rin naman sa mga friends. That's why I'm also lucky to have this platform. So nagigets ko yung sinasabi mo na parang medyo frustrating na no kung wala kang kausap and wala kang ano, yeah, it
Yeah.
could really be difficult. But what makes all of this worth it?
Oh.
Malapit ka na eh. Konting ano ka na
What
lang eh.
makes it
Finish your
worth it? To be honest, I guess one difference would be before coming here, parang this thing was doing this PhD was all about me. Parang uh yeah, I came here, sabi ko I would publish so many papers, so pagka-uwi ko I would get some awards, etc. But at this point, it's actually just for my parents na lang na rin. Because they've been, parang sila yung nagsusupport talaga for me in all aspects. So, yeah, to be honest,
Maganda yan Parang lumiit ang ego. Or baka nga
lumiit
talaga nag-diminish na.
lumiit talaga.
Oo. Normal size na siya. Normal size. That's hindi siya lumiit. Normal size na. Kasi the ego is there to help us as well, di ba? Para
Yeah.
pursue tayo ng excellence and all that. So, the ego is not necessarily all bad. There are good things and because of the ego.
Yeah.
So, at least nag-normalize na, di ba?
Yeah.
Alam mo na kung ano yung true worth ng mga bagay-bagay.
Yeah. Pero
Oo.
you're right about what you said about having more empathy and being less patolero, ganun. Parang I guess before kasi sobrang vocal ako. Like if I disagree with, up to now I think you will still see it in my facial reactions. Pero one thing I learned lang din is, like I don't have to say everything.
That's true. Hindi.
I think that's one thing.
Pero totoo yun, no? Kasi minsan out of even if we're right or we're on the correct side naman and may sense yung sinasabi natin, sometimes, we unintentionally say things that could create demerits in our blessing. Ito naman yun eh. So, that's also,
Yeah.
kaya discernment. Actually, nandun ka na eh. I love it. Parang, alam mo na paano magpigil and then just say what's important. Kasi I also admire yung pagiging direct. Kasi that's also important eh. But it could be nice naman kahit direct ka eh. So that hindi ka parang kawawa na hindi mo express yung sarili mo.
Yeah.
Important din yun.
Before talaga may tone talaga eh, na even if I become direct, may tone talaga na, ay mali ka. and parang when I look back at, and if I look back, parang tagal na rin 5 years na rin, like since I last, and parang if I look back 5 years, 5 years is a long time. So parang, in a way, at least, I hope, it reflects, I hope, lasting effect of the process.
Oo. Pero ito, last question, cap it all off. Kasi right now, you're in a space wherein there's joy. May happiness eh. May happiness talaga with what you're doing. But you're peaceful with the process, even if it's difficult. Diba?
Yeah.
And you're clear with what you want to happen. And I think because you're also there, I really believe in my heart that's also what God wants for you. So, how do you actually encourage people to be in that kind of space wherein you are living the purpose, ba? Living the call that was given to you, and at the same time, joyful and at peace. Kasi meron iba na, yeah, I'm doing this because alam ko naman na ito yung pinapagawa ni God sa akin, pero parang hindi ako gano'n ka-happy. Parang
Yeah.
meron pa akong ibang hinahanap, 'di ba? May gano'n eh. But
Yeah.
you're clear that this is it, 'di ba? Parang it never entered your mind to ever quit. You're still there, you're still writing, even with all the critics. Ano, and yet you're happy and there's peace
Yeah.
in this kind of space.
Yeah.
So, paano ka nga ba narating diyan, 'di ba? How do you encourage people to try at least man lang to achieve
Yeah.
this kind of space? Kasi important yun eh.
Agree. Oh, I guess siguro may first would be um nababahinga ako, but first would be don't be I think one thing would be if you're sure na I think even I guess kasi ang dami niyong factors, right? And I guess in a way I'm lucky to be in a position na I can pursue what I want to do. Kasi for example, I started when I graduated, parang when I graduated, I started sa corporate work, right? And then when I started doing my masters, I realized, oh, parang masaya to be in the academe, gano'n. So parang in a way, I was lucky that, I had some support from family na, okay, you can pursue something. Because I think for us in the field of business, parang there's no economic incentive to actually leave corporate work and to do something else, right? So I think that's one factor to be considered as well. Na parang, but if we are in that position, if you're willing to take, parang if walang other restrictions, then for me, it was more of taking a step that's usually being, because I think for us, for me, sige, not speaking for myself, it's a step that's not commonly taken kasi hindi naman lahat, willing to join the university and, forgo income just to become a PhD student. So there's that, na parang taking everything into consideration. If there's something that you want to consider, parang, taking everything into account, if it's feasible, then just go for it, even if it goes against, the instilled traditions or norms that I've been accustomed to. So parang that's the first part. Kasi yeah, you'll never know. I mean, it's iba yung feeling of just knowing something in theory versus actually confirming it by yourself if you're in that position already. For example, like when kasi yung best friend ko, she also did a PhD. And then when I told her that I wanted to do a PhD, sabi niya sobrang mentally taxing, ganun. Pero when she told me that, I was like, I don't think that will happen to me. Diba? Kasi, I mean, parang I won't let other people's experience parang stop me from what I want to happen. So, yun. Pero na-confirm ko naman by experience na tama naman siya. So, iba yung conviction in affirming your decisions once you've been there. So, yun, I guess I was lucky to be able to try different things and then eventually decide for myself na, oh, this is what I want. And I think this is where I really am. This is where I belong. Parang ganun. And then the second part would be, this one is something I learned from the PhD and COVID experience. Na, don't be kinder to yourself. Na, kasi it's so easy. Parang I guess nga, pre-COVID na we're so used to, work hard, grind, etc. So parang when I see myself na not working as hard compared to how I was before the pandemic, when I see myself being not as motivated as I was, parang it's so easy to, blame myself na parang bakit, why are you not working as hard as you? Pero And it was a time that I've been looking at a lot of motivational, inspirational messages.
Yeah.
Kasi nga, parang gusto ko yung message about, your 100% can look like different things.
Yes.
Right? Can be parang your best for each day does not necessarily have to be 100%. So I think that has been my guiding principle na din, na parang I had to unlearn some things na back before COVID, parang they allowed me to get things done. Pero ngayon, they're kinda contributing to self-destruction. In a way, they're more punishing now. And parang right now, I don't have the bandwidth to, you know,
Still be harsh to
yes,
yourself.
parang that. So that's what I tell people din na pagsasabi nila, parang tatamad ako ngayon, etc. Parang, alam mo yun, like, sinasabi sa na I've known you for before COVID, etc. And hindi ka naman ganoon. And I think it goes the same for me. And it parang yun nga, may impact talaga na up to now nga, even if the borders are open, the world is still not the same. And actually, if you factor in the effect of climate change, the wars, stagflation, the world is not getting any better. So with these things kasi, because for me, parang kaya I could manage yung rigid system before. Kasi nga, back then, may value pa yung delayed gratification. So parang if you just hold on a bit long, you'll eventually
Yes.
get there. Pero with COVID and with the world looking being since mas gloomy na yung mundo right now, parang the value of delayed gratification doesn't work right now. And I think that's a reminder, acknowledging that fact makes it easier for me to accept na I don't have, parang hindi katamaran to. Kasi nga, paano ko naman gaganahan? Parang the motivation, iba na yung, if you even use economics, yung incentive set now
Oo.
is different from
Parang
the incentive.
naiisip ko nga, ito mag-isip parang may tune background. May framework to at the background when it's talking.
I guess yun na ng PhD for me. So,
Pero
yeah.
pero I can understand where it is that you're coming from. Kasi
Yeah.
tama naman, 'di ba? If actually it's different for different people eh. Pero dalawa lang naman eh. The world is gloomy, so chill muna ako. Parang wala namang mangyayari, 'di ba? Pero meron din iba na, the world is gloomy. Then I'll do what I can to make things better for me kasi gloomy outside. So gawin ko lahat, 'di ba? So it's different. Different people react different, to the same stimulus, sorry. So, nagigets ko yung sinasabi mo. Pero, yun nga, I love that you're being kinder to yourself. I'm sure you were so harsh to yourself before.
Yeah, yun yung sinabi sa akin sa reading.
Oo. Kasi, mirroring yan eh. When you're harsh to other people, it also means that you're harsher to yourself. So, now that you're kinder, it means because you're kinder to yourself.
I agree. Yung hurt people hurt other people. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Oo. Malaking growth yan hindi lahat nakakadaan ng ganyan. But, we all have different journeys. And
True.
for you, this journey towards the degree is also transforming you into a better person.
May spiritual aspect talaga siya.
Oo. I really think anything that's challenging, diba? Anything that's challenging would really make a person cling to God more.
That's true. Like, with things, parang with so many moving parts, parang obviously hindi your efforts alone, my effort alone would not be enough. So kailangan na ng divine intervention. Or even actually just, to be honest, like, I started going to church recently then. Pero before that, parang, nung nasa Pilipinas ako, hindi ganun ka-regular. Although I would go to the chapel sa Lasal to pray then. Pero I think the for me, what going to church does for me is it really grounds me then to remind myself on what I'm doing, to reflect. Yun. So,
Yeah. Yan yung wag mo pakawalan kasi malaki ang growth. Malaki ang growth dyan.
true.
So, thank you so much, Ray, for your
Thank
time.
you as well.
Oo, I enjoyed this conversation. Para I was like, okay, be more like Ray. I really believe, as I talk to different people and with them sharing their journey,
Yeah.
I absorb the good things that they have said. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's why I love listening to stories of other people. Siyempre iba-iba yung roles, 'di ba? Iba-iba yung roles natin eh. But then at the end of the day, we just want to grow and be happy and at peace, 'di ba? So I'm happy for you that you're now in this space. Konti na lang. And I'm praying for your journey na
Thank
talagang
you.
makakuha ka na ng journal para pwede ka naman.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much again, Ray. And of course, for the favored ones, even if you're not in your doctoral journeys, I hope that you have also gained something of value here. Parang it's all related talaga to anything in general. So that's it, everyone. God bless. And of course, whether you're team live or team play, share this content if this is something that really touched your heart. So God bless again. Okay, bye, Ray.
Bye. Thank you.